Of course, look at this atmosphere on the hill right here, watching James Ward and Vasek Pospisil. Very similar to the atmosphere that we had last night when Serena Williams was taking on Heather Watson. And who better to discuss and analyse it than Craig O'Shaughnessy? Great to have you with us once again. So just give us your initial thoughts on the analysis of that match last night.
Well, the first thing that you've got to do against Serena is defend and absorb. And I thought Heather did a magnificent job of that. You quite often saw her crouching down low, bending the knees and getting behind the ball, getting the full weight of her body behind the ball. And, you know, to get within a couple of points of an amazing victory. I mean, she lost, but in a lot of ways she did win, and it will certainly help her moving forward. So it was a very good match.
Yeah, what about Serena's tennis? I mean, clearly she started off very well, but then it started to unravel a little bit. Were there too many unforced errors out there from her?
Well, you know, she had it in the bag, and a lot of times you get to a point in a match and you think, okay, I've got this one. Let's take the foot off the accelerator and just coast home. And it's a very dangerous time in a match. The opponent can feel that the weight of the ball is not quite what it was earlier in the match, and there was a little bit of that going on. The other part of it is Heather gets down, and all of a sudden it's like, you know what, I've got to go for it, and that's exactly what happened. You see her running around there, upgrading from a backhand to a forehand, and a really good angle to pull Serena off the court. It's not easy to get her out into the alley.
Another backhand error right there. So she was starting to spray balls around a little bit, but is that as much to do with what Heather was doing in terms of drawing those errors out, do you think?
Yeah, I think so. You know, Heather enjoys the longer rallies. She did very well with that. I think it was 80% of the extended rallies of 10 shots or more leading into this match she won. So just making your opponent hit one more ball is one of the best tactics you'll ever have in the game, and that certainly was a factor here. You know, just making Serena hit again and again and again, moving her. You know, the wide forehand is one area, and if there is a chink in the armor, when you can get Serena out wide in the juice court, hitting forehands on the run, she will spray a little.
But also you can look by just watching those points right there with Heather. I mean, even Matt, she's giving herself so much margin for error. I mean, literally some of those balls from Heather down the centre of the court, nowhere close to the line whatsoever, but just again, eking out the errors.
Yeah. The good thing to understand about that is most people think when they hit a ball, it's like firing an arrow. You hit a shot and the arrow goes and it doesn't come back. Yeah. Whereas a better way to think about it is like throwing a boomerang. And when you hit a ball down the middle of the court, its natural angle is to come back down the middle of the court. So I also call it like opening the door. If you make Serena take 2 steps and you change direction, she's got more angle now and she'll probably make you take 4.
Yes.
So there's nothing wrong with the boomerang effect straight up and down the middle of the court and stopping Serena having angles to attack you back with.
Yeah, got to look at the sort of the... Oh, go on, Matt,
No, but if you then get her past those 2 steps, if you get her to take 4 steps, but that's so dangerous. It's the same thing as a body serve, right? The body serve is brilliant, but if you miss it by 2 feet, it's the worst serve in the whole box because it's right in the strike zone. So that's the danger with Serena, I think, for girls, is how much do I take on? Because I want to get her to move, but I don't want to miss either.
Yes. Yeah, exactly. So, you know, you've got to get it deep, which Heather did. You've got to extend the rally, which she did, and then you've got to attack wide. And it was almost a perfect storm. You know, it was late in the evening.
Yes.
You're coming off the match, you know, with Dustin and Rafael Nadal the night before that had so much energy, and it was just identical. It was an amazing atmosphere out on centre court. The crowd was so loud when Heather was making that big run.
Yeah, I mean, it seemed as if Serena coped incredibly well. I thought actually quite composed, considering 15,000 people were cheering for Heather Watson, understandably the Brit here in Great Britain at Wimbledon. But what about sort of how animated Serena was at times during the match?
Yeah, you know, you don't know what's going on inside a player's mind, but I think with Serena, she really wears her body language. What's going on inside her head comes out a lot. And when things started to go south, she certainly cracked somewhat, and you know, the match that happened between the points, I thought at times when she was winning points she got too animated, and then when she was losing points she became too down. You know, the roller coaster started to take effect and she almost became an opponent for herself.
She does look at times incredibly stressed actually out there,
she
doesn't
does.
she? What do you think, Mats?
I think it does. I'm not sure if she actually knows. I'm sure she watches her own matches once in a while, but I don't know what she thinks when she sees it. But it does look sometimes like there are better places for her to be than involved in a tennis match in front of people, because the walk becomes really slow and it really looks painful. And I don't know if it's intentional, because it's not easy to play against somebody who looks as down and nearly as depressed as she looks on the court. It's hard for you to have the energy, because you want a little bit from the other person. You want to hurt them. You want them to feel the pain, which is a good feeling. But I don't know if you can say that she is feeling the pain sometimes, because it's just, I don't know. Serena's world looks so different and fragile at times.
Yeah, it does seem as if the weight of the world is on her shoulders, isn't it, in terms of this unbelievable expectation of pressure, trying to, win the 21st Slam, the Serena Slam, perhaps the Golden Slam, in terms of all four in one season as well. So there's so much riding on it, and I guess in many ways she does cope incredibly well, but you can see it's like a pressure cooker.
Yeah, you can. It's got to be difficult for her. You don't know what's going on inside a player's mind, but at times she's great. But I pick up on that as well, Mats. The super speed that she hits a ball and the super slow motion that she walks right after it, the two kind of are at odds with each other.
Yeah, very strange.